Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's DIY is all on how to sew the Nika Panty plus tank top. For this tutorial, all you're going to need is some 4-way stretch cotton fabric. I'm actually selling this fabric on my website, and you can purchase it in white, black, or gray. You're also going to need the Nika Panty and tank top pattern, which is also available on my blog. You're going to need a clothing tag if you have one, scissors, sewing pins, a rotary cutter, and a cutting mat. So I've linked where I got all my supplies from, including my sewing machine, where you guys can purchase directly through Amazon. All right, now let's get started. Okay, so I'm actually going to start off with the panty pattern first. And what I'm going to do is open up my fabric. And again, guys, this is 4-way stretch premium cotton fabric. I think this is the perfect fabric for this type of project because it has the perfect stretch to it. So I'm going to open up my fabric and I'm literally going to fold it over just like this to where you'll be able to see the fold of the fabric. Now this pattern is meant to be, the panties are supposed to be seamless. So we're literally going to cut on the fold. You'll see here that it says cut in the fold, and I'm going to just use my rotary cutter and cut around all of this. All right, so I'm gonna remove my pins, and this is how the panties should look once they're cut out. And again, for the pattern, this is actually my very own self-drafted digital pattern. You can also purchase it as a physical copy, and it's available from an extra small to a size 4XL. So I'm using an extra small for the panties, and then I'm using a size small for the tank top. But all I'm gonna do next is pin it at the top corner here and pin it at the top corner here, and then I'm literally going to sew along both sides. So I'm going to sew here and then I'm going to sew here. This is how the panties should look once I sew along both seams. So for anybody who's using a regular sewing machine and not a serger like myself, all you have to do is sew a straight line and then zigzag stitch it at the edge, and then sew a straight line and then zigzag stitch it, and then that's how you can kind of get that clean finish like that. All I do, I just put my sewing machine on a straight stitch on the widest length on 6, and then when it's time to zigzag stitch, I'll put it on the zigzag stitch on the widest length and then stitch the raw edge. Simple. So next, all I'm going to do is start to hem. So I'm going to start at the crotch area. I'm going to open it up just like this, and I'm going to fold over once, fold over twice, and then I'm going to stick my pin in and pin that down. And then I'm going to do this the whole way around. I'm going to fold over once, fold over twice, and then I'm going to pin. Now, when you're doing this, this is important. This hem, you want it to be very nice and tight. You also don't want it to be too small. So I would say fold over once, just like that, and then fold over again, just like that. Make sure your hem is really nice and snug, and then just place a pin inside there. So you're going to just hem the whole crotch up to where the whole thing on these sides are both pinned down, and I'll show you guys how that looks after. What you thinking? What's good? How you feeling? I wish you would. Had to hit the husband on your homies. Stepping in your bad lonely. My ex used to act like he owned me. So this is exactly how your panties are supposed to look once you hem them down. So you're going to start hemming from the middle of the crotch, and this is exactly how it's supposed to look. The hems are supposed to be touching each other. This is a thong panty pattern, a thick thong panty pattern actually. It's made for comfort specifically. So your hem, you also don't want to be too big, but you also don't want it to be too small as well. You want it to look just like this. Very nice, clean, and neat. So what I'm going to do next is take it to my sewing machine, and I'm going to zigzag stitch all the way around. Now I'm going to put my zigzag stitch on a super tight stitch length because I don't want the zigzag stitch to be too wide. I want it to be very small to where you could barely see it. So I'm going to change my stitch width to 3, because it was on 6. Now I changed it to 3 so that it's smaller, and then I'll show you guys how it looks once I hem all the way around it. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is turn this to a zigzag stitch, as you can see on my sewing machine. And then for the stitch width, instead of keeping it on 6, I'm going to turn it down to 3. And so I'm using a Singer heavy duty sewing machine. I actually got this sewing machine off of Amazon. I actually love this vendor. I've been recommending this exact sewing machine to all of my students. So you guys should go check that out. Back to the streets like back to the streets. So this is how the panties is going to look once everything is hemmed down. So I literally zigzag stitched at the hem. So what you have to remember to do is to close that hem down. You're going to be zigzag stitching close to the end of the hem where you have to hem. So don't hem on this side where the fold is. Hem to shut that, to close that hem off. Now, one last step. I'm literally just going to hem this part over. I'm going to start from the side seam, fold over once, fold over twice, and I am going to pin. So this hem at the top is a little smaller when you get to the side seam, but that's okay. Just hem once, hem twice, and then pin. And then I'm going to add my tag in there as well. When I pull up to the scene, big goals and I put that on me. What you thinking? What's good? How you feeling? I wish you would. Had to hit the husband on your homies. And just like that, the Nika panties are done. They are so pretty, nicely stitched. The zigzag stitch helps it to stretch a lot, and it's so nice. So you guys can click the link in my description if you want to know where I got my tags from, and also to purchase this pattern. So now I am actually going to make the tank top pattern. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Once you click that subscribe button, make sure to hit the bell so that you can be notified on more of my sewing projects. So on to the tank top. All right, so for the tank top, what I'm going to do, as you see on the pattern, it says to cut on the fold. So I'm going to open up my fabric. And my fabric is actually on the fold now. And basically you're just going to fold your fabric in half, just like this. And then you are going to line up the the pattern with the fabric just like that. And you're going to literally cut around the whole pattern. And you're going to cut 2 of these out for the front of the tank and the back of the tank. So I just finished cutting out both tank top pieces for the front and the back. So what I'm going to do now is open up the top, and when we cut on the fold, this is what happens. When you cut out the fabric on the fold, it'll show you a full piece. So I'm going to put both the top pieces on top of each other. And I'm going to make sure that the right sides of the fabric are touching. So this is my right side of the fabric and this is my right side of the fabric. So I'm just going to make sure that they're touching. Just like that. And I'm going to line everything up and start pinning. Okay, so now that I have everything pinned down, I pinned down along both sides of the top and at the top where the straps are. And then I'm gonna leave the bottom part open, and then I'm also going to leave the armholes open on both sides and the neck hole. So all I'm gonna do is a straight stitch along all those and then zigzag stitch the edges. So now what I'm going to do is start to hem again. So I'm going to hem the bottom, I'm going to hem the neck hole all the way around, and then I'm going to hem around both armholes and this armhole as well. So I'm just gonna start over here. I always start hemming at the seam. So I'm gonna start at the bottom and I'm gonna go all the way around. So remember, you're gonna fold over once, fold over twice, and pin. And like literally this whole project consists of hemming, and that's it. It's just hem. So you literally just have to become very familiar with hemming if you aren't already. And if you guys have any questions about this tutorial, make sure to join my Facebook sewing group. You can search Socialite Sew. I'll link that in the description as well, so that if you guys have any questions, you can easily go ahead to the sewing group and ask questions. There's lots of girls in there showing off really pretty sewing projects that I feel like all of you guys would love. I love my sewing group so much. So make sure you guys add it on Facebook if you're on Facebook. Okay, so I have the bottom of the top all hemmed down. So all I have to do is zigzag stitch it. And remember, you guys are going to zigzag stitch on the stitch length number 3. Just a smaller stitch length setting on your sewing machine. Basically, I just want to show you guys how to hem the neck hole. It's the same way. I just want to show you guys. So remember, you're going to fold over twice. That's going to be a double hem. And you're going to pin. And you're going to do that the whole way around. So when I get to the center is where I'm going to double hem. Hem again. I'm going to stick my clothing tag underneath there. Pin that down. Go around the whole thing and then sew around everything. So I'll show you guys again how that looks once everything is done, even hemming around the armholes. Okay, so this is how the top should look once everything is hemmed down. I hemmed the bottom, I hemmed around the whole neckline, and then I hemmed around both armholes. Hemming is very easy to me. It really doesn't take much. And literally to make this set in just about any size, you'll just need about 1.5 yards of fabric. That's about it. This is literally the easiest project ever, and I think it's so simple. It's sexy, it's cute. You guys can use my patterns for small business purposes if you guys are looking to sell these sets as well. So when you purchase your pattern, make sure you check all the printing and you'll get all the details on that. So I'm going to just take it to my sewing machine and zigzag stitch to close off that hem around the whole garment, and then I'll show you how it looks once it's done.
So clean when I pull up to the scene. Big goals and I put that on me. What you thinking? What's good? How you feeling? I wish you would. Had to hit the husband on your homies. Stepping in your bad lonely. My ex used to act like he owned me. Ain't enough just to treat me like a trophy. I had that, passed that, knew I had to trash that. Bounced on his, turned that boy into
and here you have it. The top is all done. Look at how nice, look at the quality of that. The fabric, even down to the stitching. You can barely even see it. As soon as it goes onto you, you can't even see the stitches. I love using this method. The tag is in there. And you even have the panties done as well. The tag is in there too. So we have a whole matching panty and tank top set. Your clients will go crazy over this new set. So like I said, you guys, make sure to purchase the sewing pattern, all the supplies that you're going to need, like the sewing tag, your sewing machine. Make sure if also you don't know how to sew and you're looking to freshen up on your skills, I offer one-on-one sewing classes, so you guys can take advantage of that as well. But this is, oh my goodness, this is the cutest. I have one in every color. You can't beat it. Thank you guys so much for watching.
You know that I can't be kept, no, I gotta dip out. Pull up in my hood, best dress. Next thing, upgrade, who's next? Rich Rich boy, got him on deck. Good boy, tight, fashion. I put my new man